All right, first category, aquatic garden, small, less than 70 liters. We had a sponsor for this category, Seagrest Farms. Thank you very much. This is the largest category of the contest with 47 entries. And honorable mention goes to entry number 9, a 17-gallon tank called Vane, and I cannot pronounce this fellow's name, from Taiwan. Lee.
I like this tank very much. I think it looks smaller than, excuse me, I think it looks bigger than you would guess, knowing the size of the tank. I like the way he's got the glossostigma growing up into his root. I think he picked a nice piece of stonework. And I like the flow from one side of the tank to another.
This work? There we go.
It does.
All right. Actually, for a small size tank, I think he did a pretty good job picking out the correct type of plants. It's important that in a small aquascape you pick plants with smaller leaves, and I think he did an excellent job doing that from everywhere from the foreground, midground, background. The scape is a classic triangular shape. I think his composition's pretty good. I think he did a pretty good job.
Okay, third place, entry number 52, an 18-gallon aquatic garden on the wings of an angel, Felipe Alves Oliveira from Portugal. He's a repeat winner, I believe.
This guy, he's pretty good at coming up with things that you don't usually see. I think his photography style adds to that as well. This one, his uniqueness is pretty good. Even he creates a symmetry with it, but for some reason it seems to work, and it seems to be very balanced. I wish I could explain exactly how to deal with this tank because it's so unique in itself. But I'm just going to say that he knows what he's doing. This guy. Yeah, he's pushing boundaries. Thanks, Gazimfar.
Second place, entry number 156, 8-gallon aquatic garden, Beyond Imagination. Wheat.
Again, this is somebody who's managed to create a tank that looks a lot bigger in a very small space. I think that this is one of those tanks that I don't know how high it rated with it rated fairly high with everybody. I know that, but it's a little bit understated, but it's a beautiful tank.
One of the things also here is, like many other of the winning tanks, they have used a lot of mosses. So it's one of the things I'm generally impressed of in this competition. And I agree it have a very good depth in the aquarium, even it is a so small tank. So I like it also very much.
Real quick comment to this. I remember this tank from when I was judging. I actually did a double take, triple take, just to make sure that the size that the person stated it was real, because I couldn't believe it. I mean, he's done a very good job, not only scaling everything down, but look at the depth on that thing. It just goes on forever. To pull that off on an 8-gallon tank, that's not 8 gallons. He's lying.
First place for the small category, a 14-gallon aquatic garden, Apollo, Alberto Alvarez Guti from Spain.
I love this tank. I think it's absolutely beautiful. The only small nit that I had with it, and this is something that I think we were talking earlier about, the fact that for the animals and for the condition of animals, that there is a place where you can reduce points. But if everything else of the tank is really, really beautiful, it doesn't reduce the points very much. And I had a problem with these cherry barbs. The cherry barbs are not in good condition. They're thin and they're not in good color. And my comment to him was that in such a small tank, if he wanted to have fish that he didn't need to feed more heavily, so that if he was trying to avoid algae problems, then he should use smaller fish. Otherwise, he needs to feed these fish more and just live with the fact that he needs to do more water changes in the tank.
Actually, yeah, this tank, the composition's pretty good. Again, I hate to point things out. Yeah, everything about the tank's really nice, except for one thing. And you can actually notice it a little bit more on this picture than when I was judging. But some of the plants look recently pruned to form a certain shape. And if you attended one of my trimming talks, there's ways to do that so that it doesn't look like that. But that was the only comment I had. I mean, it's basically one thing that I would have changed.
Also here, if you didn't know that it is only 54 liters, you would not imagine that it was so small. So it was one of the things also at this tank I was impressed of.